If you clicked on this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that it's because you understand that there is a major gap between who you really are and who you allow this world to see. So on one side, there's a version of you that thinks big, dreams big, and knows exactly what she's capable of. And then on the other side, there's a version of you that will list a million reasons why you cannot show up and bring those ideas to life. And the frustrating part about this is you know that you are skillful, you know that you're talented, you're not lazy, you're not confused. So why does it feel like you're holding yourself back? Why do you feel like it's safer for you to play small instead of taking up the space that you deserve? The answer to this is that until you address that gap, there's no amount of motivational advice that's gonna fix your problem of playing small. So real quick, hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Cherrelle. If you're new here, on this channel, we're all about closing the gap between who we are and who we are becoming through identity-based personal development and a little sprinkle of personal brand building. And in today's video, we are going to name all the reasons why you have been playing small, and most importantly, we're gonna walk through how to bridge that gap between who you are and how you show up. Feeling like you are playing small or not living up to your potential doesn't mean that something is missing inside of you. Most of the time, it comes from the habits that you've learned early on to stay safe, to avoid trouble, and to keep other people comfortable. Habits shaped by past experiences that have taught you when it's safer to pull back than to stand out. So when you look at it this way, playing small definitely starts to make more sense, but recognizing that these habits create more harm than it actually provides protection can really change how you move forward, because growth then becomes less about pushing yourself to just try or just to do it or to get over whatever caused you to start playing small in the first place, and it becomes more about giving yourself permission to really step into the potential you already know is there. So instead of asking yourself, why do I keep holding back? The better question becomes, what am I afraid will happen if I stop? The answer to this is where the real glow up starts. One main reason why women often play small is because of fear. So fear definitely shows up in two different ways. There's the fear of failure, and then there's the fear of success. Fear of failure is the fear of making mistakes, being judged, or not being seen as good enough. A woman may worry that if she tries and fails, others will criticize her or lose respect for her. So to avoid this feeling, she may decide to just not try at all, or she may choose goals that are smaller, that feel more safe, instead of something that's actually challenging. And then there's the fear of success. It's less talked about, but it's just as powerful. Success can bring more attention, more responsibility, higher expectations. A woman may worry that success will change how people treat her or expect more from her than what she's willing to give. She may also fear standing out or being seen as too much. Because of this, she may stop herself just before reaching her full potential. So again, past experiences, they shape both of these patterns. When standing out has led to embarrassment, punishment, rejection before, the body remembers that reaction and tries to avoid repeating it. So pulling back then becomes a way to stay safe rather than a choice made with true intention. And even when the situation changes, the instinct to stay cautious remains. So making growth feel dangerous instead of exciting. Another reason comes from what many women learn growing up about being good. So from an early age, girls are often praised for being agreeable, helpful, and easy to manage. And while being bold, being creative, being bright is definitely recognized and rewarded, especially in today's society, being too bold, being too outspoken is discouraged. And over time, this teaches girls to put other people's needs first and to avoid standing out. And so as they grow into women, shrinking then becomes a way to stay light and to avoid judgment, even when there's a strong desire to do more. And this connects to why so many women quietly carry this too much belief. When being ambitious, having confidence, or being intelligent is labeled as excessive, women learn to then tone themselves down. They speak less, dream smaller, or hide parts of themselves to make others comfortable. So instead of trusting their potential, they begin to believe that showing it will fully cost them approval, connection, or belonging, which are honestly basic human needs. So cognitive dissonance happens when what you believe about yourself doesn't match what you are trying to do. So if you have a deeper belief that you are not worthy of big goals, your brain may try to protect that belief. And even when you want more for yourself, you might knowingly make choices that slow you down or pull you back, this happens because the brain likes things to feel familiar, even if those beliefs are negative. And from this, you see that low self-esteem and low self-worth can also cause self-sabotage. If you truly do not believe that you deserve success, happiness, or attention, it can feel uncomfortable to move forward. So you may miss out on opportunities, you may quit too soon, or avoid taking risks, but this is not because you are lazy or unmotivated, but because deep down, you just do not believe that you are allowed to shine. And over time, that low self-worth can then turn into a constant fear of being exposed. This fear is known as imposter syndrome. It is that feeling that you are a fraud and that others will eventually discover that you're not as smart or not as capable as you present yourself. So because of this fear, you may downplay your talents, stay quiet, or avoid being seen altogether. And because of all of this, playing small then again feels safer than risking being criticized or being exposed. Another reason people stay small is because the brain prefers what is familiar. So growth requires stepping into the unknown, and the brain often reads the unknown as a threat. Even if staying small feels unfulfilling, it can still feel safe because it is predictable. Playing small often focuses on short-term comforts, such as avoiding stress, fear, or discomfort. Playing big, on the other hand, means facing uncertainty and taking risks without knowing the outcome. When comfort becomes the priority, growth is delayed even when the desire for more is strong. This need for comfort often shows up as a need for validation. Instead of trusting your own ability, some of us wait for other people to notice our talent or to give us permission to take steps forward. This may look like approval from your bosses, your family, your girlfriends before taking any action, and waiting for validation is what keeps people stuck because growth requires self-belief before outside recognition. Another reason why sometimes we choose to play small is because of decision fatigue and burnout. So high-achieving women, we often give a lot of our time and energy to multiple areas: work, family, friends, other people's needs. So we end up saying yes to a lot of things that we don't want to do, and we often expect a lot from ourselves. And after a while, this constant effort definitely leads to burnout. And if you know, when all of your energy goes to other people, there's very little left for you, yourself, your goals, and your own dreams. When burnout lasts too long, many women begin to operate on autopilot. So this means going through daily routines without feeling present or excited. You may stay in a job, a relationship, or a lifestyle that no longer fits who you are. And so life then starts to feel like a series of just different tasks instead of something that's meaningful. And this disconnect can make it even harder for you to imagine what change even looks like, even when you know that something in your life needs to shift. So yeah, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected is often a sign that you have been surviving instead of choosing what truly matters to you. And so it is important to remember that playing small is a habit, not a character flaw. It is a learned survival strategy, and like any habit, it can be unlearned through consistent action. Once you understand why you have been playing small, the question is no longer what is wrong with you, but how can you begin to show up differently? Okay, so here is the fun part. To stop playing small, it is not enough to just change your habits, your routines, how you do your makeup, how you do your hair. Many women believe that if you act differently, that your entire life will change. This is what's called the outside-in fallacy, and this is the belief that changing behavior alone will create real change within your life. The problem with this is that behavior is controlled by identity. So your brain is always trying to act in ways that match how you see yourself. So if your identity says, I am someone who doesn't ruffle feathers, your brain will try to protect that image. So even if you decide to get on YouTube, you look up a bunch of videos on how to improve your public speaking skills, or you watch a bunch of it girl, that girl glow up videos to build your confidence back up, you will find that you are still holding yourself back. You may show up, but you're speaking softly. You may show up, but you're second guessing yourself, or you may avoid being fully seen. Your actions will always return to match how you see yourself. So this is why real change starts with identity. When you begin to see yourself as someone who is allowed to take up space, your behavior starts to change naturally. Showing up becomes less about forcing confidence and more about acting in line with who you believe you are. Before you can play big on the outside, you must first shift who you believe you are on the inside. If change starts with identity, then the next step is to clearly define who you are becoming. The ideal self is not about being perfect or impressing others. It is about who you are when no one is watching. And you can really figure out who this woman that you're becoming is by reflecting on who you are in private. How do you speak to yourself when no one is around? What choices do you make when you're not trying to be liked or approved of? These moments often show your true identity more than anything you do in public. The ideal self is also shaped by what you believe you deserve. So does this version of you believe she has the right to be in the room? Does she feel allowed to speak, to lead, and to take up space without apologizing? These beliefs matter because your actions will always follow what you believe is allowed. If you secretly believe you need permission to be confident or visible, you will wait for others to give it to you. If you believe that you truly do belong in the room, you will act like it, even in the smallest ways. So defining your ideal self means choosing new beliefs about your worth and your right to exist fully. So many women struggle with self-promotion because they confuse bragging with advocating. Bragging is about proving your worth. Advocating is about owning the value you bring and allowing it to have impact. If your ideal self believes that she has the right to be in the room, then naming your skills and your experience is not about being self-centered. You are not trying to convince anyone of your value. You are making it visible because you respect it and you trust that it can be applied. So playing small doesn't always look like staying quiet. It often looks like you're showing up, but you're downscaling your contribution. You are underpricing your work, your value. Or often you take on more while claiming less. And these patterns really do reduce your impact, even when you are highly capable and involved. So let's use myself as an example. Before I started YouTube, I knew I did not want to be a celebrity, a public figure, an influencer in any kind of way. I remember one time I said this to someone and they tried to encourage me to believe in myself more, as if wanting to reach celebrity status was a goal for everyone. I care way too much about my privacy and I'd much rather be a wealthy, unknown woman living off-grid, but that's just me. But anyways, because I don't desire fame, I let that stop me from showing up on pretty much all social media platforms for a long time. And what I had to learn is that showing up and communicating value isn't about being known or chasing a certain status. It is about being available where your work can actually reach the right people who can benefit from your story, your solutions, or your services. I truly do believe that we are all vessels for a certain kind of help, skill, or insight that the world needs. So when you minimize or misrepresent that value, the outcome is not humility, it is misalignment. Advocating for yourself ensures that your energy, skills, and effort are placed where they can actually matter. How you see yourself is strongly shaped by the people around you. So this is called the mirror effect. The people in your life reflect back who they believe you are, and over time, you may start to believe it too. If you surround yourself with people who only see you as the small version of yourself, it becomes easier to stay small. They may not mean any harm by it, but they are used to who you have been, not who you are becoming. And their expectations can quietly pull you back into your old patterns. And I want to share what this looks like or what it feels like on a personal note. So me personally, I often think about the people who knew the older version of me and what they would think if they ever came across my YouTube channel. I can almost hear it like, oh, she acting brand new. I remember when she used to do this and that. At some point, you have to allow yourself to reach a place where none of that matters. When you let go of the old versions of yourself, you also have to let go of the old stories that are attached to her, including the way that other people remember you. And on top of this, let's nerd out real quick. So if you have ever seen The Matrix, the main character Neo is chased by Agent Smith the moment he starts becoming who he really is. And Agent Smith's only job is to stop Neo from completing his mission and pulling him back into the system. If you haven't seen the movie, definitely check it out. But this is a very powerful reference to this point. When you start growing, when you start stepping into who you really are, the agents will always show up. Sometimes they look like other people, sometimes they sound like old opinions, and sometimes they're just the old version of you trying to survive. It makes all the difference to be around people who see the big version of you, especially when you cannot see it yourself. These people remind you of your strengths, they speak your potential out loud, they speak life into you, and they expect more from you in a supportive way. And overall, their belief in you can help stabilize this new identity that you're forming. When you are learning how to show up and how to take up space, your environment will always matter. The right mirrors do not inflate your ego, they basically just help you remember who you are becoming. This kind of silence is about discipline and self-trust. However, moving in silence is not the same as staying invisible. When your work is never shared, people cannot respond to it, they can't support it, they can't benefit from it. So silence becomes a problem only when you keep your value hidden. And this is why there must be a bridge between your talent and the world's awareness of it. You don't need to announce every move, you don't need to announce what you're working on, you don't need to explain yourself to anyone, but you simply need to allow your work to be seen at the right time and in the right way. There is a big difference between showing up with purpose and showing up from fear. Showing up with purpose means that you are clear about why you're showing up and what you need to do there. Showing up from fear comes from self-doubt. It comes from needing to protect yourself, needing to be, again, validated, approved, accepted. So when your focus is purpose, showing up feels more steady and more intentional. But when your focus is fear, showing up will always feel heavy and draining. I've seen a lot of different opinions on moving in silence. Here on this channel, I stand 10 toes down when I say that you can move in silence and still take up space. The goal is not to be loud, the goal is to be intentional. So before I end this video, I want to thank you for watching it all the way through. The purpose of this video was not to motivate you. You don't need any more motivation. You already know what you're capable of. But I will end on a very serious note. We've walked through all the reasons why we've been playing small. At this point, there is no time left to continue shrinking ourselves. The time is up, baby girl. The time is up. We have reached a moment in our lives where so much is happening around us that if we do not show it for ourselves, if we don't take up space, if we don't fully live to our potential, we will be forced to remain small. And I trust that you already know exactly what it is that you need to do. And whatever the reason is why you haven't been doing it, let this be the last day, the last week, the last month that you play small. And as easy as it is to get on social media, to study your favorite content creators, your favorite influencers, or anyone that you admire who's not afraid to show up and take up space, in the process of stopping from playing small means learning how to become your own inspiration. It's time to stop looking around for examples. It's time to stop looking to other people outside of ourselves for what we need to do next. It's time to stop waiting for someone to show you how to live. It's time to become your own brand. My hope is that this video reminded you of your own strength. If it did, give the video a thumbs up. It helps me continue to create content that supports you on your journey of becoming the woman that you desire to be. And also be sure to subscribe, because in the month of February, we're focusing on building our self-worth, our self-esteem, our self-respect, all of those type of topics. So if this sounds interesting to you, also hit the notification bell so that you are alerted when these videos are posted. I'm really looking forward to the month of February. And lastly, when you're ready to become the woman that you desire to be and to build a brand that matches her, be sure to check out the Become the Brand Guide. These are the exact strategies that I use to build my own personal brand. My biggest goal when I created this guide was to create a resource that will grow with you as you continue to evolve into the woman of your dreams. So inside of it, you'll learn how to use your real life experiences, including the hard ones, as material for building a brand that feels honest and aligned with your true purpose. You can find this guide and other resources linked down below. So thank you again for watching this video. I will catch you in my next upload.